We've just been taking this mission to deliver supplies to remote parts of Cuba, one step at a time.
Yeah, I think it would be because there's two.
Yeah, if we'd anchored right here, we wouldn't have had mosquitoes.
The sun came up again. Another day. Sun. That's good.
First of all, we just wanted to get past these water spouts that were doing their very best to form. We've actually been caught in a water spout before back in Mexico years ago, and at that time it felt like the boat almost capsized, and that's while we were tied to a dock. Now we were out in the open ocean with no one nearby to help if we ripped a sail or worse. The next order of business was to catch lunch. We have to catch something each or every other day because without a fridge, the only other option is to salt and dry fish.
I saw him swim away.
Huh?
I saw him swim away.
Can I zoom up?
Yeah.
And after that, we wanted to find another safe and beautiful anchorage for the evening. Oh look, here's another idyllic, crystal clear blue spot to drop our anchor.
They are unstoppable, this bean.
We always tried to bring Choco to shore for a poop wherever possible. However, here, like other places, mosquitoes were the problem.
Look behind you. Look behind you, it's like a mosquito. You have to be afraid. He's so cute. Unfortunately, when people are hungry, they big turtle shell here. Big smell. Wow, big guy, huh? Ah, they cleaned it super well. It would have made a really nice thing to have, but I'm not sure we're allowed to keep one of those.
Mosquitoes.
Wow, they really like him, man. They like the dog the most.
They're all over me too.
Roll around, so we get.
The fishermen in these parts had the right solution with their beachside fires. As usual, we tried to make friends with everyone we met by bringing them some much-needed items, and everyone we met was very humble, because they're usually fishermen, and we usually come away from the interaction with a fish or two or a lobster to eat.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is a 500-pound swivel and snap shackle, and I just broke it trying to bend it. It was nice and straight, and bye fish and lure.
Well, we heard this.
Yes, lucky it didn't take a piece of the boat with it. I lost the old trusty, old Betsy, the
How
lure.
many lures did you lose this trip?
Well, right now we're down for 4 lures that I already lost. 3 went at once, and this one, and we're in super deep water, so there's no way it got to the bottom. Something just hit the lure super hard and opened a 500-pound swivel as if it was nothing. Damn it.
We were sailing for Isla de la Juventud today, specifically the Marina Ciguanea. Our charts claim that there's a marina located in the southwestern corner of the isla, but also that the entryway had been long silted shut. We decided to anchor for the evening and check on the state of the marina entrance in the morning. And it was almost too shallow to even get by with the dinghy.
Damn.
The guarda was very friendly and kindly offered us water there, but the water was not running due to lack of power. And of course there was no way to get to town because of the lack of fuel from the blockade as well. So we decided that it made sense to try to get to town by boat.
We're just waiting for the wind to fill in.
If it fills in at all, if not, we just
If it fills in. This seems to be a common factor in the Golfo de Batabano. The wind is lighter than we anticipated.
But Nuevo Gerona is not an official port of entry, as I mentioned in the last video. So, as we expected, they didn't want us to park our boat there. Also, as I explained in the last video, we of course prefer that they not isolate themselves from us cruisers. But they already have enough problems caused by this blockade, and these are their sovereign rules.
Yes, we wanted water, we want to give the donations, we wanted some fresh vegetables and ice, and we got water.
We got water. Beautiful town.
Yes, at least they didn't send us out without water. I think.
We reluctantly sailed away from Isla de la Juventud, bound for Cayo Largo, which allegedly still operates as a port of entry. We grumbled and we muttered as we left because the Island of Youth looks like such an interesting stop, with an old prison that was now turned into a museum, and a sailing club that didn't need any power, just the power of the wind. Which we were also taking advantage of today. The wind direction was actually in our favor, and blowing strong enough to get us through the Pasa de Quitasol. Like with most passes in narrow spaces, we were provided with a good meal when we keep our lure or two in the water. These dolphins were very wary of us, which kind of reminded me of the authorities at Isla de la Juventud.
The batter's getting better. And better every time. Somehow.
At Cayo Campos, we anticipated meeting someone, either fishermen or park rangers, but we were surprised to see another sailboat, anchored quite far away, because they were on the outer side, while we were on the inside of the Cayos Reef. We met one park ranger on the island with his pet hutia, which is a small rodent that looks kind of like a cross between a rat and a beaver. The ranger, Ariel, explained to us how he ended up with this cute little creature, along with the fact that because of the blockade and the subsequent fuel shortage, he was stuck on the island for months longer than planned.
En un pinal que hay allá,
Sí,
estaba en candela, había fuego.
sí, fuego.
Yo fui para apagar, ¿no? Y veo un gavilán
Sí.
tirándose en un tronco.
He explained, and we also observed when we arrived, that there had recently been a wildfire on the island that burned up the mother of this little critter. Ariel found Panchito when he noticed a bird attacking something near a tree trunk. Pancito likes to sleep during the day, and he has more energy at night.
Ponlo en el piso.
No va a escapar.
No, ponlo en el piso. Y dile, Panchito, ven.
Ven, Panchito. Oh, tío.
Como le gusta que le hagan eso.
Le gusta el
Y
pancito.
debajo de la bambita ahí, abajo. Se duerme así, así se duerme.
Ujú. Eso.
Debajo de la bambita. Como le gusta eso.
There were a few people out here who needed food and supplies, so we packed up some bags of food to share with them. There was a reef to explore here, but my GoPro battery died before I could show you the best of the fish in the coral. At the next entry into the Golfo de Batabano, we spotted that same monohull once again. It ends up that this French vessel had too much draft to enter into the Golfo. We also had, of course, tacked our way there, going over many spots with less than 2 meters of water.
Just finished cutting up our fish. Ew, it's a little seaweedy.
Yep. Is it there?
Because the weather was so calm and pleasant, we stopped on one of these outer reefs alongside a band of catamarans, which each gave us a drum or two of drinking water, as they all had water makers on board. We could barely see land from here. We were protected only by the reef. Underwater, the reef was also a protective barrier and a home to many.
Well, these look like small ones. There's like a bigger one.
The sandbanks at Cayo Largo shifted and moved enough that their satellite imagery did not match what we observed when we arrived here.
And here we have a tourist.
Los cocos son bonitos.
We did the usual tourist route, walking through the resort, but we only met workers there. Unfortunately, Cayo Largo is a project that has come to a halt because of the lack of fuel. Apparently, the Canadian company Sunwing planned on transporting visitors directly from Canada to this island paradise. We were given permission to come to the dock with our boat to offload some of the donations. The local doctor would be coming soon to pick up the medical donations specifically, half of which, of course, we've brought with viewer support, and the other half from our home community in Mexico. The doctor arrived with his mobile clinic, and we asked what the community needs more in the future when we return again. These donations, of course, show our solidarity with the people of Cuba and people around the world who care about what's happening here.
Antibióticos, hypertension, lo mismo guantes.
Los insumos siempre son fundamentales. Lo que es gasa.
Insumos, everything that's not reusable.
And even though this is a small amount, this might make a difference to the roughly 2,000 workers and families near Cayo Largo and Isla de la Juventud who might end up needing it. Thank you again to everyone who contributed, and thank you for watching.
It's all for the cocos, really.
Careful, huh?
I got it.
Cuidado que no.
Good job.
They say that falling coconuts kill more people than sharks. Like every.
Yeah.
Good catch. Un, dos.
Woo!
Oh. I thought that was
I got one.
Filled up on coconuts and water, but not drinking water from the island. Just, it was raining a shit ton of water.